Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, idealists and visionaries. I'm your boy Ideal Tone, and I'm here to make it known that we are back with another episode of Binge or Cringe. Sorry we're a little late. These things happen. We move on. We do what we got to do. So, tonight's episode is literally about Baki Hanma, okay? We've already done the original series. Well, not the original series. There's multiple series of Baki. We've done Baki, which was the first Netflix adaptation, and then now we're doing the continuation, which is Baki Hanma. Two different series or two different seasons or whatever, separated. Okay, but they continue on, but one continues on from the other. So first you watch Baki, then you watch Baki Hanma. If you want to go even further back, you watch Baki the Grappler, which came out before Baki, which was the first Netflix adaptation, and then Baki Hanma, which is the continuation of Baki. So there you go. That's what we're doing tonight. Let's roll on into it. I'm only joined by one other person tonight, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We keep it pushing. Okay, it's my boy, the one, the only, the nullified saint.
Where my wings at?
I don't know, bro. I'm hungry though.
I am too, actually. I ate some chicken tenders like 2 hours ago, but I'm still feeling flourished. You get hungry when you're sick.
Yeah, bro. I know, bro. I'm sorry you're going through it. I appreciate you being here though.
That's no problem. It's good to be here.
Oh yeah. But let's get to it, man. Baki, or should I say Baki Hanma, because we already talked about Baki. But Baki as a series is such a good series, man.
Really good. Really
such
good.
A good series.
I was up till 1 o'clock last night, and I had to work at 4, just because I couldn't stop watching. Just like you said, I mean, dude, like it's not, you threw me into it. You said, "Hey, dude, once you start, you're not gonna stop." And I was like, I told you. Cut off. I had to cut off. I was up till 1, dude, and I had to be up at 4. Like, oh,
bro, you want to know how I knew it was gonna be like that? First of all, when Baki Hanma dropped, they only did the prison arc. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all was like, "Toner, we're gonna do Baki Hanma." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, "No, we're gonna wait because we already know they're gonna do." Because they already previewed and hinted at Pickle, and then we know after Pickle is him and his dad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we're not rushing into this. Then this past July, that day I was packing to go to DreamCon, where me and you finally linked up, bro. That Wednesday night, I tell you, I even did a video. It's a short video of me that I made. I was like, this would be perfect for a video. I did a short video, bro. I am literally packing, but I couldn't really pack because I'm watching Baki Hanma. Like, I'm watching. It dropped that night. There's no way I was missing that, bro. There was no way. And like, it was the Pickle art. It dropped that Wednesday night. Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's been that long that I didn't get to
No,
watch
that
it.
was just the first
Dear
half.
gosh.
That was just the first half of season 2, though. That was
Well,
just the
honestly, I'm
pickle arc.
glad.
The
I'm glad
Baki,
I waited till I can
yeah,
binge it. Dear gosh. I mean,
The Yujiro versus Baki season part of the season 2
mm,
dropped literally like maybe in August, or like a week or two after. In August, a week or two after the other season dropped. They was on it, bro. They was on it.
they weren't playing.
They knew people wanted to see that father son fight. That's what it was. They
Mm-mm.
knew people wanted to see that.
Like I
Man,
definitely did not get to finish the past couple episodes, but I went to go watch the fight, and dear gosh, do I need to enjoy that with some popcorn and a big flat screen TV with the actual just episodes, just watching it, just letting it go.
bro, it's
You know.
phenomenal. It's fun. Let's
Oh
dive
yeah,
into
no,
it.
it looks awesome.
So, for those of you who haven't watched Baki or anything Baki related, Baki Hanma, Baki the Grappler, definitely do so. But here's the backstory. Unless you watched, the previous podcast, Baki's literally a kid with some of the greatest genetics ever to be created in martial arts. Literally, his genes are phenomenal, and that's all because of his bloodline. That's of his father's bloodline. Okay, his father's bloodline is called the Hama bloodline. So Baki's full name is Baki Hanma. Then you have his dad Yujiro Hanma, and then there's the bloodline continuing on from that point. Literally, or dating back even further from that point. Literally, they are beings unmatched when it comes to martial arts and physicality, especially once they really put their all into it. Basis of the matter is Baki was born of Yujiro and his mother. I don't remember his mother's name. I'm really drawing a blank on that right now. But Baki's whole existence, according to Yujiro, is for him to live so Yujiro can fight him. That's it. That's Baki's whole entire existence. So that way they can have the ultimate fight. That's why he had Baki and had the woman he met give birth to him. And then after, he impregnated her, her sole job, according to Yujiro, because he could have any woman he wants, apparently, which is kind of true, was to literally raise Baki and make him strong enough to fight him. That's where we get down to. Baki trains every day, blah blah blah. His mother throws him into the hood to make him tougher, and she does whatever she can. And don't get me wrong, she doesn't really provide motherly love because she's only truly obsessed with her love for Yujiro and making Yujiro happy. So she's blinded and doesn't really see Baki other than a tool to get closer to Yujiro again. So with that being said, she's rich, so she makes sure he's fed and all this other stuff and blah blah blah. But she always pushing him, making sure she's training, making him fight this person, blah blah blah, pushing him to the next level. Then it gets to the point where she believes Baki is strong enough to take on his dad. He's clearly not. They fight. Baki literally gets face palmed into the ground by his dad and knocked unconscious. And that's when his mother, for some reason, finally, it's just the switch hits that that's my son. I love my son. That's my son. And she ends up going to fight Yujiro, and Yujiro kills her. Right? Yujiro kills her. And
That's after she got a hit in, but I mean,
she did get a hit in. She was the only person. She's the only being to get a true hit in on Baki's dad. Not to say that people haven't hit Baki's dad before. There have been people. But when I say I mean a true hit, like he wasn't expecting it. He was nowhere expecting her to do that. So, with that being said, he kills her. Because, you don't hit Yujiro without consequences. I'm sorry. Whatever those consequences may be, might not always mean death, but she wasn't a fighter. She wasn't really that physically strong, so she died from what happened to her. So Baki comes to, finds out sees everything, finds out she's dead, blah, blah, blah. And from then on, it's about getting revenge on his dad for killing his mother and getting stronger in order to defeat his dad. He doesn't care about being the strongest in the world. He just wants to be stronger than his dad or get stronger enough to defeat him, challenge him, and defeat him. And then that's where we push on to where Baki's whole journey is even more serious about growth and developing his skills as a martial artist and a fighter and so on and so forth. So, and now then we get to the nitty gritty of what really happens during those journeys, and it is epic. Like what? Like I think. All right. So like here's the thing: we're not really talking about Baki. If you didn't watch Baki or watch the podcast on Baki, go watch Baki. But Baki Hanma, spoiler alerts. It starts off with Baki like, okay, he in the recent. I'm gonna say one thing. In the recent series before Baki Hanma, there was Baki. He challenged his dad officially outright and said, "I will fight, Dad, fight me." Like he's not scared of his dad no more. He's ready to do it. He's like, "Fight me, pops." So during this next series called Baki Hanma, he literally goes out of his way to challenge the world's strongest people consistently in order to gain up the fighting experience as well as courage and test out new moves in order to challenge his dad. First person
even get strong enough to fight his dad.
Yeah. First person he outright challenges after everything he did in the previous series. He goes after the homie Biscuit Oliver.
Biscuit Oliver. That man right there.
Oliver is called Mr. Unchained. Literally, he is America's top rank warrior, for lack of a better word, because he's not really a fighter, but he fights. You know what I mean? He's strong. There's no one who can really challenge or defeat him besides Yujiro. 100%. 100%. Biscuit Oliver is just that he's just that tough. That's what, and he's called Mr. Unchained because even though he's technically a prisoner. Technically, he's a prisoner, but because he's so powerful and he chooses to stay in prison, especially with all the amenities and everything, they basically treat this man like royalty, and he lives in the toughest prison ever. He walks around. He basically owns that prison. He can leave as he feels free, go and ride his bike, motorcycle, go out. And here's the thing. He has all these privileges. And even though he still chooses to stay at the prison, he has all these privileges and is able to do all this and everything because he's the top fighter. And because when any prisoners escape, especially hardcore prisoners from America, they ask him to go get these guys. And he has never lost. He's always come back with the people he was sent to capture. It's phenomenal. I've never seen Biscuit Oliver lose except to Yujiro Hanma.
I mean, honestly, man, he's unchained, but dear gosh, is that man, his character, he's a good, he's probably done some things, which I can't remember his past, or just, I can't remember those episodes in general, but I know I liked his character in general. He's always honest.
Yeah, he's an honest guy. And he's not a bad person either, but he's
pretty straightforward.
One thing you never want to do is insult his woman.
His wife, yep. Don't make fun of his wife.
Do not insult his girlfriend. At this point, they should just get married, but I don't know if he can get married because he's a criminal, because he's technically locked up. But she lives in the prison with him in her own quarters, okay? And we hear about this girlfriend all the time. But when you finally see her, you get confused as fuck. Like,
I'm confused. Shit.
I'm thinking she don't exist, but she does exist. The whole time I'm thinking she's not real, but she does exist. And he goes and see her like every day at a specific time, or when he says he's going to see her. And when he does, My man gets fully dressed up, tux, handkerchief, old guy man cologne. Like he puts on the
Wasn't it like it was like chocolates and flowers and
yeah. He brings everything. He brings the gifts though. Everything, man.
Did.
But when you finally see her, and I don't know if I should spoil this or not. Should I spoil this? No.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen vanilla pudding before.
No, you know, when you see her, just know to expect the unexpected. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just expect this.
Just expect the unexpected.
I didn't expect it at all. I mean, like Tone said, I thought she wasn't real. Then you sit there and you question it, and then you find out she's real, and then you're just like, huh. Well, that's a good man right there. That's a good man right there.
So, regardless of all that, he's number one in the prison. But Baki, in order for Baki to challenge him, Baki has to get put into prison in America, right? So Baki does something that only one other person has done in the current history. What his father did. He kidnapped the president. Kidnapped the president. He literally snuck in, picked the president up, ran away. No one could catch him. He did it with such ease. It was amazing. And the president was like, "Well, what do you want?" Blah blah blah. Da, 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 da. He was like, "I want to go to prison." He was like, "What? I want to go to the prison that Biscuit Oliver is in." He was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yes." So he gets his wish. He goes to prison where Biscuit Oliver is at. And then it's just, he meets a bunch of crazy criminals and et cetera, et cetera. He does a bunch of crazy stuff just to prove a point. He does it all to rile Biscuit Oliver up to get him to fight him. And boy, do they fight. Like Baki tells him, was like, "Bruh, what do you mean? An event? You're trying to make this a big event? No, man, we're fighters.
Got you right here.
We gonna fight. We gonna fight right here." So while, and here's the thing, Baki's arms are locked up. While Baki's arms are locked up, and I won't tell you how they're locked up, but one is away, he literally lashes out a layer of attacks based off kicks and is kicking the snot out of Biscuit Oliver until Biscuit Oliver was like, "Okay, that's enough." Does his oh so fabulous rip off my entire outfit move. Jumps out of his shoes and smacks Baki through the wall. Then Baki was like, "All right, now we got to fight."
That's when he's recollecting.
That's when he starts getting himself together, and they start going at it. Him and Oliver, blah blah blah, to the point that Oliver looks like he's about to win because he knocks Baki on his behind. Then the next thing shocks you. Baki gets himself together. He collects himself. He gets off the floor. Was it gets off the floor, and then there was another part when he jumped, he hit his back on the wall and jumped off the wall. During those times, all you see is the same thing that his father has, the demon face back.
And then was it Unchained known for not falling on his back?
He was known for not No, that's not Unchained, I don't think.
That's not Unchained. I remember he what was it?
I think you're thinking about One Piece, man.
Is it One Piece?
Yeah, when he's not alone and laying on his back, that's the donut guy. Mochi Mochi guy, yeah.
Mochi Mochi. Oh, okay, never mind. Hey.
Yeah. But Oliver is just, he's undefeated in the prison. He's number one. He's unchained.
Right.
He's known for, that's what it was. He was known for not being pushed back.
Being pushed back, that's what it was. Okay, thank you.
I think that's what it was. He was known for not being pushed back, and I mean, he got pushed back.
He got pushed back multiple times in this series.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick.
Man, when I tell you, man, that was a good fight. Moving forward from there, after Baki beats him, in order for Unchained to keep his title and stay where he's at as number one in the prison, blah 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 blah, he has the warden kick Baki out of prison. Simple as that. And they give Baki a bike in the middle of the desert, and they escort him through via helicopter while he's riding his bike to get him home. It is the most ridiculous thing ever, bro. They could have at least gave him a ride all the way home. Like they could have at least gave him a flight to the gave him a ride to the airport and got him on a flight and sent him back to Japan. You know what I mean? Crazy.
And you're right. He wasn't he was in America. Dear God.
They was disrespectful for that. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
They gave him a bike and a backpack with some stuff and said, "All right, get on."
Good luck.
You know, like crazy. The sheer disrespect was phenomenal. But moving forward, we got the next part of the story, the pickle arc. And man, you think don't get me wrong, Yujiro Hanma, his dad is a bad man. But Pickle being put on the scene, Pickle's a prehistoric caveman whose build and muscles and athleticism is unmatched for the simple sheer fact this man fought and took on dinosaurs. Prehistoric creatures. And he did it to hunt them. He ate them first. He hunted them and ate them to survive. My man got fangs. He's taller than tall. Okay? His body is built more than a temple. He's ridiculously shaped. He's unmatched. His bones are hard as some of the hardest steel. Like this is everything that the doctors are saying and everything. And because of the times he grew up in, only a few things can satiate his hunger. Yeah, that's exactly right, Rob. Only a few things can satiate his hunger. Dinosaur meat is definitely one of them. The other thing is like wild, aggressive animals. And he won't eat anything he can't hunt or that won't fight back.
And or women.
Yeah. But he will. But it's all about, for him to eat, it's all about the hunt. That's the way he lived. He wants to hunt, eat, and repeat.
Yep, everyday functions.
Otherwise, if he's not hunting, he's not eating, and if he's not eating, he's going to die.
Survival.
He's just survival of the fittest for him. So they bring back this prehistoric man. He comes back to life. They try to take care of him and bring him into the world and everything like that. When they finally bring him to Japan to see if the Japanese can help in some way or shape or form with feeding him or something like that. I don't know. There was no real reason to bring him to Japan, to be honest. There really wasn't. It was a suggestion that somebody made, and they brought him over. Probably because the elder had a hand in it, which the elder is like the guy who's in control of like all the underground fighting circuit in Japan. And he probably had a hand in it and was like, hey, I can help feed him. I got money. But because he's rich. So, super rich. But with that being said, they bring Pickle to Japan. They put him on the American military base. Why is it all the martial artists in Japan that live in Japan that have always been in any of the fights or the tournaments or the series in general all end up there? They all sneak in one way or the other. But there's only
funny. I did not expect them.
Yeah.
I did not expect them to come out of the
They came out of the woodwork, right? No, they came out of the woodwork.
Yeah. I was sitting there like, damn, this dude, he playing ahead. This motherfucker didn't even get here yet, and they're already. Dear gosh.
Yeah, but there was one person who didn't sneak in; he just strolled in, literally.
Oh.
No, you mind telling the people who that was?
I mean, it was Yujiro. Yujiro. I mean, he definitely strolled in. I mean, there was guards, but I mean, he just the thing. I mean, I couldn't believe what he did to those guards. Or no, actually, he didn't do nothing to those guards.
Technically, he did, but he didn't. It was his
Technically, he
natural.
did. Yeah.
He oozed his natural presence, which made them attack each other instead of him.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like, let's
Well,
be
I
real.
mean, after he said the reasons why, I was just like, you know what? I would have fought the motherfucker next to me just not to mess with that guy right there.
Exactly. So Yujiro strolls in. And when he gets there, he's like, the whole group is here. Everybody's there. They look at him like, damn, Yujiro's here. Like Yujiro wasn't going to show up to see the prehistoric man. Pickle wakes up. And he doesn't wake up to acknowledge everybody there. He could care less. He doesn't feel any. He doesn't really care about. He knows they're there, but he doesn't care about their presence because they don't. He doesn't feel a threat from them at all. At all. He wakes up and literally the first thing he does is pees an ocean. I won't even say a river. This man pees an ocean. We like
fire hydrant.
Huh?
It was like a fire hydrant.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, he just peeing right there. It's wild. So he's standing there, and then he notices everybody, doesn't really acknowledge them. But before he goes back into his cubby or whatever, guess who decides to say hello? Yujiro Hanma. Literally, they were like, well, you want us? He was like, how you going to be? He was like, I don't need nobody to open the door for me. So he literally presses his face against the glass that leads into Pickle's, what do you call it?
Enclosure.
Thank you. Pickle's enclosure. And literally presses against the glass so hard he walks through the glass and there's no scratch on him. Only thing that disappears is his shirt.
It's his shirt.
And then the glass, for some reason, snaps back into place. You can still see it's cracked and everything, or split, but it goes back into where it was.
I didn't think about that. That did happen. Dear gosh.
This man, Yujiro is insane. But Yujiro doesn't attack Pickle. He puts his hand out for Pickle to pound his hand, and then their hands to meet. Pickle's confused at first, but he follows suit. They pound, and all of a sudden, Pickle realizes this man is not to be trifled with. You know what I mean?
Boy.
Like, this man ain't no pushover. He's different.
Mm-hmm.
He's different from the rest. But Pickle's so powerful as well that he kind of makes Yujiro pull a move on him. And it was unintentional. Yujiro didn't even want to. He was like, that bastard made me pull a move. That's all. And that's all. And number real, that's all that happens with everybody there and everything. They're asked to leave, and Yujiro said, "Fine, we'll leave as long as everybody else is allowed to come with me without repercussions." Blah 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 blah. Here's the thing. I'm be real. You get to see Pickle fight a bunch of the martial artists. I am so disappointed that he didn't fight Yujiro. And don't get me wrong, I knew he wasn't going to fight Yujiro. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I wish in the manga and in the anime that did happen. You know what I mean? I would have loved to see that fight.
That would have been a good fight.
That would have been a good fight. And
honestly, I did enjoy all the fights he had, though.
Pickle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all the fights.
But his greatest fight was probably versus Baki. Because Baki had my man on the ropes. Sure.
Oh, Baki was just...
Like, don't get me wrong. Pickle had the lead and everything. But Baki got into his groove. You know, it takes Baki a minute to get into his groove. But once Baki gets into his groove, he's a menace. And he had Pickle shook, man.
Pickle was confused the whole fight. But I can tell you one thing that made me laugh, man, was when Pickle was fighting Jack.
First of all, Jack didn't have to fight him like that, bro.
Yeah, and then I think it was the second time when Jack was just comboing. No, not Jack. Pickle was just comboing while homeboy was still in the air. Was just he was just.
But here's the thing: Pickle knew not.
I was like, ooh.
But and Pickle was about to go in for the kill, but I remember when Pickle got spooked.
Oh, because
when they was like, why did he get spooked? And they kind of went to go near Jack, which Jack or so for those of you who don't know, Jack, his name is Jack Hama. He's another one of Yujiro's sons, but and Baki's older brother. Just for backstory. But what was I saying? Yeah, so Jack is unconscious, and the reason Pickle backs off is for the simple fact that when someone finally did approach Jack had this finishing move even when he's unconscious to basically kill you. Like it's a one shot kill with his fingers, and he plunges them through your brain. Like it's the craziest thing. Pickle realized he would have been dead if that Pickle realized the danger.
I mean, you could be tough, man, but with the move that Jack Hanma would have done to him, I mean, any other person would just, like you said, be dead.
Mm.
You can't train or toughen up that area or your brain in general, you know.
Mm-hmm. If Pickle would have went any closer, Jack would have killed him, right, while unconscious. But Pickle was, Pickle got that instinct in him. He knew not to get any closer anymore, for good reason.
That boy said he saw that bee. And boy said, I learned real quick. Boy had that poison.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what was I saying? But yeah, so finally Baki and Pickle fight. That fight was epic, man. Unfortunately, Baki technically lost because Baki's bad habit kicks in, where he just wants to brawl instead of using techniques to win. And, Pickle sends him flying.
Sends him freaking flying. Dear gosh.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Baki technically could have won.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. But I was just like, you know what? It's like, that's just his tendencies. That's just what he does.
Mm-hmm. He does it in almost every fight after a certain point.
Yeah.
Just his nature. It's his Hama blood. Can't help it.
Yeah. Always got to tease the weaker fighters. That's the Hanma in them.
Mm-hmm. Moving forward from there, which brings us close to the end of our podcast. The father-son fight, man. Yujiro versus Baki. Oh, it's beautiful.
It was crazy, dude. I mean,
it's beautiful, man.
Like I said, I got to watch the full fight in continuation. I need to just go back and watch the last couple episodes to see it as it should. But the fight looked great. I mean, shoot, dude. It was because of what I probably missed for an episode. Probably missed a little bit, but it was a very great fight. They were just slinging back and forth, man. I'm pretty sure that was like 3 episodes of fighting, wasn't it?
I think it was more than that, wasn't it? Was it
more than that? Probably.
It was definitely more than that. It's got to be more than that. Their fight wasn't quick, so
I know. I definitely felt it.
But I'm gonna be real with you. I feel like we said a lot, and we could talk about the fight between him and his dad, but it's literally there's a point where it leads up to his fight with his dad, and then there's the fight with his dad, and there's really no explaining what happened. Okay, it's there's like you have to watch it. That's what it is. Like the other fights, I feel like you can explain a little better. Like but his fight with his dad was just different. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't a full on brawl fest the entire time. But when I tell you, like, they was giving each other hands, it was epic, man.
It was, for me, of course, like I said, I didn't get to watch it and continue, in episode form, but it felt like constant testing and constant proving of abilities, like he just kept, Yujiro just kept assuming that Baki wouldn't be at certain levels, which, every fighter in this series so far of this season in general, proved went above and beyond. I mean, what was his name? The Dopo son.
Yeah, he definitely proved himself.
The Yeah, he definitely proved himself, and a lot of people assumed that he wasn't going to be much of a fight, and just seeing Yujiro testing Baki and Baki going up, proving him, showing that he's going to get there. It's really good.
So man, like all I'm gonna say is this: go watch, go watch the latest season of Baki Hanma. The latest seasons, I should say, or arcs. Let's just say the arcs. Go watch the most current arcs. And when you get to the father son fight, just beware of the move called dress. That's all I'm gonna say. Beware of that move. But yeah,
All I
man.
gotta say is beware of that first episode, the first 5 minutes exactly. Just be real clear where you watch that.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
You find out why his name's Pickle.
Look, man. Let's move on. But regardless,
Yeah,
definitely watch the series, man. Watch the
give it a
series. It's
watch.
one of the greatest anime series in my personal opinion. I won't say the greatest of all time or like top 10 or 20. Maybe top 20. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm not really sure where I would place Baki, but I know it's way up there. I know it
with
is.
with I don't watch. I haven't watched as much anime as Tone and the Great Cobalt, but I've watched some enough to where if I binge it till late in the morning to where I work the next morning, like 2-3 hours later, I highly say it's very highly binge.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the most binges that these young men say, just automatic. In my opinion, it's always a great time. I always binge everything they say. Say to give a watch and what we're gonna binge next week.
Yeah. So
I've never been proven wrong.
so go watch Baki Hanma, guys. Go watch Baki the Grappler. Go watch Baki. Go watch Baki Hanma. Baki and
I
Baki
need to watch
Hanma,
Grappler.
both series with all the arcs up to this point are on Netflix. And I'll be honest with you, even if you don't watch Baki the Grappler, just jump in into Baki and Baki Hanma gives you all the info that you truly need. It gives you the backstory as well. So go watch it, man. Enjoy yourselves. Partake. But that's all I want to say. We are at the end of the podcast for today. Join us next week, same time, 8 p.m. We are going to be doing Pokemon, the end of an era, Ash's farewell. All right. We are going to do that next week. So, but without further ado, as always, I'm your boy Ideal Tone, and I just made that known. And we are out of here. I'll catch you guys on the
Later.
flip. Later.